like I said, I'm guilty of it. I saw the number and I was like, that seems like somebody being a little greedy.
Yeah, well, it's so I foregrounded that by saying, or so that I could go with, I think this deal is only going to be able to be judged whether or not they win the Super Bowl next season. Regardless of its 200 million or 100, because the number I heard is 153 guaranteed. Whether or not that number is accurate, it kind of sounds like it's not. It's going to be in that ballpark.
It's going to be a big contract, yeah.
Yeah, for 4 years for a 40-year-old man, which I think Tom Brady really kind of messed people up in terms of what over 40-year-old quarterbacks are capable of.
He messed us up.
I think he was a unicorn in a way that I think people are like, oh yeah, no, you can totally be a quarterback in your mid 40s and still be good. I don't think many people are going to be able to live up to that. That said, I think, yeah, we're only going to be able to judge this deal as to whether or not they win the Super Bowl next year. Because to me, this seems like the Packers are doing what the Rams did last year. They are going all in. Now, the cap hit, again, if the number isn't right, there's good reason to believe that all the other details are not right. But the details as they stand right now, the cap hit is not as bad as it seems at first. They are using the extension to move money to later years. So in terms of cap space, the Packers probably will be okay for the next year, maybe 2 years. That said, they are still $30 million over the cap for next year without Davante Adams on the books. They just franchise tagged him, so they're going to have to pay him. They're going to have to move a lot of pieces around. Now, that said,
how much are they paying him right now? Was it 20?
Davante Adams?
Yes. What was it?
So
I don't know.
If I remember correctly,
Mike Williams. What did Williams get today? Didn't Williams get
he got
50?
He got 60 mil, I think, guaranteed or something like that.
Yeah, so they're going to have to do something to match that. In my opinion, I think that they're going to try and have to get him there. I'm just trying to get perspective for everybody, right?
Mike Williams got 3 years, 60 million. Yes.
Okay. So
roughly 20 million a year. Right. So roughly you're looking at paying Davante Adams north of 20 million a year, which was
now
expected.
It's only 15 for the franchise tag.
Right. Which is why you tag him and you work out the minutia of a longer term deal the rest of the season.
Yes. Which I'm assuming comes off of Rodgers' check, maybe like that.
So, and I think that's the thing. So to John's point about how they're going to try to maneuver this money.
Yeah.
There's signing bonuses. There's like you're saying, like he's saying, pushing the contract out more and backloading the contract so that maybe in year 3 and 4, he's paid more than he is in year 1 and 2 of this deal. But then you also have still like John said, the issue of they're still 30 million over the cap. So yes, some guys are going to get cut. You're going to either cut some guys or you're going to hope that guys are willing to do something that's very rare in the NFL, is that they take a pay cut to basically go all in, like John is saying, and basically push all the chips to the center of the table and say, okay, we're going to make it one final run at this, and I will take a considerable pay cut to try and make this work.
Now, last question off topic. Do you think Aaron Rodgers didn't like, because like you said, Meko, when you saw the number, 200 over 200, like it was just about the money. Do you think Aaron Rodgers didn't like that and was like, no, this isn't signed. This is not really the number.
I absolutely do. And this is so.
And John, this is a question of both of you, but
yeah, I'll go first on this one. So this is something that like I feel like I'm probably in the minority of this, and I get it because a lot of people are just sick of Aaron Rodgers and they're sick of the drama that has been Aaron Rodgers for this past NFL season. So when I first saw 200 million, like I said, I thought like, wow, like it's a little bit of greed. He's being greedy. However, just because I thought he was being greedy does not mean that I don't think he's worth that money.
Get it?
Like dude just won MVP back-to-back years, and they've gone 13-3 in back-to-back years. That's the cost of doing business. Like, so I'm not going to sit here and be like, you don't pay that man that. No, He is single-handedly the reason that you went 13-3.
Right.
Regardless of anything else. He's also the reason why you haven't advanced to the Super Bowl.
So there's that.
Yep.
Gionne.
Yep.
But this is the gamble that they gambled a couple years ago when they tried to get Jordan Love, and you lost. Well, and this is what the loss. This is the cost of losing that bet. Because if you hit on that bet, this deal never happens.
Correct.
Right.
You lost the bet. You have to pay the cost of doing that business.
Paying the piper.
So I understand why Aaron Rodgers would come out, because he did. He had publicly already went out and said, and most of his complaints were about them not putting the best team possible around him.
Right.
Like everybody was saying, the reason this seemed like a contradictory, because it's like, well, if you can't say that and then take this much money.
Exactly.
So I absolutely understand why he would then come out and say,
whoa.
Hey, everybody, that's not true.
Not signed yet. This is not the real number.
Right. So some people are annoyed by that, but you also got to remember, he wasn't the one that tweeted out the number.
Ian Rappaport is
true. Right. So if you're frustrated that there's still a little bit of drama, it's not his fault.
I only bring all of this up to bring it back to compare to the Lions, right? Like that's ultimately our goal. That's what we do here. That's what we like to do on this show, is we always like to bring everything back to Detroit sports. And what Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell are trying to do, as they've said over and over, establish a culture and establish a team that is going to last. And I think with that in mind, going back and looking at, I sent a text earlier. I said, the Packers are the new Lions. And it created some controversy, but I'm going to attempt to justify that tweet right now, or for the rest of the show. Maybe it might take that long. So Jordan Love pick, as Meko already hinted, was already a bad pick. Turning around and then paying Rodgers $200 million or $150, whatever it's going to be, makes that even worse, because by the time Aaron Rodgers' new contract is up, Jordan Love's rookie contract will expire. So you no longer have that guy. So you're either going to have to draft another quarterback to replace Jordan Love, because I mean, I'm sure you're going to try and trade him, but because you've been playing Aaron Rodgers, Jordan Love isn't getting any playing time, so he's still an unknown quantity. So he's not going to be the trade haul that you're probably hoping for.
I think you keep him as a backup.
Okay,
so keep him as a backup. Trying to make a run, you got to keep. I mean, I wouldn't.
Sure,
unless you're going to trade for like an Andy Dalton.
For Sam Darnold.
Right.
So
yeah.
Another thing Meko hinted on is that that Aaron Rodgers has been very vocal about the Packers as an organization not being all in. And then after basically like kind of throwing a bit of a tantrum about that, the contract you get ultimately hamstrings your organization's ability to build the pieces around you. Let's see. This is, like I said, they're not in cap hell yet. But they absolutely just put a hard limit on how long they have to be successful. What they're going to pay Rodgers is going to be roughly 3 to 6 free agent signings worth of money. I think all of this goes back to, again, what Brad Holmes is trying to do. Is paying Aaron Rodgers this amount of money the best way for the Packers as an organization to have success? This man who has not won an NFC championship in 10 years. This man who has not won a Super Bowl in a decade. This man who was back-to-back MVPs, as we said at the start of the show, but then still couldn't get it done in the playoffs. Can we look back at their playoff performance and say, yes, the problem was Aaron Rodgers didn't have enough money, or the game solely came down to the play of Aaron Rodgers? A lot of people blame special teams for their loss against the 49ers. Paying Aaron Rodgers more money is not going to help the special teams. It's going to hamstring our ability to add to special teams, to make a better special teams unit. And I think that is why I think Packers being the new Lions, Lions work sort of maybe in a very similar situation just this past off season. Matt Stafford did not want to stay for a second rebuild. He wanted to go. He wanted to be traded. The front office did right by him by sending him to a place where he wanted to go. They got 2 firsts and a third and Jared Goff for him to set up their build for the future. Old Lions, I can definitely see early 2000s Lions being like, no, we're just going to put a dump truck full of money at Matt Stafford's feet and have him stay here, and then scratch our heads in 3 years and wonder why we're still at the bottom of the NFC North. And I feel like the Packers, this is a very mid 2000s Lions-esque move here, as they can field Rodgers and they can field Adams, but in order who they're going to have to cut to make sure that happens, I don't know. Like I said, they're not in cap hell next year, maybe not even the year after, but they just absolutely put a hard limit on how long they have to be successful with the exact same pieces that they couldn't get it done with the last 2 seasons when he went MVP back to back. So like, I don't get this. Like, I absolutely do not get this.
All right, and so like I said in our group text, I wanted to let you.
I love that. So the Packers are the new Lions. Gionne Hendrix, you've heard it here first.
And I let John get that all out so that I can therefore say
he's writing the op-ed tonight as we speak. We're gonna post it
so that I can therefore say that is straight hyperbole. It's the most hyperbolic statement that you can make about the Packers at this moment, because the reason why this is not anywhere close to similar to the Lions never went back-to-back 13-3. Never. They were never. Matt Stafford, as great as he was, as well as he performed at times, was never a 2-time MVP in back-to-back years. A 4-time MVP, actually, I think in total, but back-to-back in 2 recent years. So I agree. I'm not saying that this was a smart move. I'm not saying that it's the move that I would have done. If I would have called Aaron Rodgers bluff, I believe the Packers probably should have called Aaron Rodgers bluff to see if he was actually going to retire. But you didn't. And like I said earlier, this is the cost of doing business. This is all a gamble. As an NFL franchise who is looking to win a Super Bowl, the Rams did the exact same thing. It just so happened that it hit. They went all in on Matthew Stafford.
Yeah, who's 33 years old. Aaron Rodgers is 40.
And guess what? He won back-to-back MVPs. He's not his talent. He is still a top-tier talent quarterback. He is still arguably
he's a bad man, as Stephen A says.
He is in the regular season.
Well, correct.
Right. So is Patrick Mahomes in the regular season. So is Josh Allen in the regular season. You can at this point, the Packers had 2 decisions. And again, they already gambled once. So again, you're just going to continue to roll this dice. And however you choose to roll it, it's a gamble either way. You could gamble that you know what? He's not going to retire. We're going to trade him and we're going to get just as good value back from him because we don't think he has it anymore, even though that would be a really bad gamble to make. The dude just won back-to-back MVPs and was clearly the best player in the NFL. Like, it wasn't like, oh, well, certain players were hurt or certain players. Like, no. It was clear cut. Aaron Rodgers was the best at 40 years old. So this is the other thing where it's not fair to compare him to Tom Brady, because Tom Brady never really had the physical tools that Aaron Rodgers has. Tom Brady proved at 40 is that, guess what? I can still win, but I need all the pieces around me. So guess what Aaron Rodgers is now saying? I can still win. You have to invest around me. So I do not blame the Packers for basically, out of these 2 choices that they had, they decided, you know what, we can trade them and try and restart, or we can go all in one more time, gamble it all again, and see if it hits this time. Let's actually.
That's their only decision. It was their only play. I mean, they give up Aaron Rodgers. You're not doing anything. It's a full rebuild.
It's full rebuild.
So, I mean, they had to keep him. Now,
and there's no guarantee that you rebuild this well.
I believe that a real Lions move would have been dealing him.